Tourist sites have been a place to chill out during vacation and leisure with families and loved ones. However, tourist centers have suffered a massive setback, and some might take a longer time. Are you hoping to visit some tourist sites soon? Will it be possible to have all tourist sites fully functional? In this video, we're going to look at tourist spots that will never recover in 2022. Uluru. Uluru is a tourism space that is characterized by giant red rock. The tourism center is located in Australia's Northern Territory, and it's one of Australia's most famous tourist centers. The Aboriginal people hold the site of great importance, as some clans in the locality see it as sacred. In October 2019, Uluru Tourism Center was permanently closed to hikers after years of tourists misusing and disrespecting the land and camping illegally. The locals of the site advocated that the site be banned for tourists, and after several years of protests and trials, the Australian government saw the necessity to suspend actions on the site. After the announcement, the population of tourists that visited the place from all around the world was massive, as most tourists came to make what they thought would be a final climb. Recent news now has that some parts of the tourist center, such as Uluru Kata Tjuta National Park, have been made available for tourism. Since the suspension of tourism activities in 2019 and the opening in recent days, tourists have not paid much attention to visiting the spot. 2022 will be tough for the center, as the revenue generation in recent years doesn't meet expectations. The Mount Everest Base Camp. Mount Everest is probably the most famous tourist center in the world today, for almost everyone that has access to cash and wants to take his family for vacation. The famous tourist center was considered by at least 3 out of 5 people. That is pretty huge considering the variety of tourism centers to visit. However, Mount Everest became overrun with tourists and was forced to close in February of 2019. The Chinese government was forced to announce that the world's tallest mountain above sea level would be closing its base camp to all non-climbing tourists. They permitted only 300 climbers to come visit the mountain throughout the year. So far, tourists have made several attempts to visit the site again and have their attempts turned down. The closure of Mount Everest came after an overwhelming number of tourists abandoned their trash on the historical mountain. In 2015, there was a record visit of over 40,000 people, and the number has only increased since then. Some reporters reported that over 8 tons of trash were found after the whole incident, including a startling amount of human feces and mountaineering equipment. Although people are still pleading with the government to reopen the great site, 2022 is not promising. Washington, D.C.'s museum. The Washington Museum is a historical museum that was dedicated to journalism and communication. The museum collections include pieces of the Berlin Wall and the broadcast antenna from the New York City's World Trade Center, among other things. The museum was closed on December 31st, 2019. Tourists have to spend as much as $24.95 on a ticket because it's surrounded by Smithsonian buildings, which are free. People are naturally attracted to history, and I'm sure many people would like to visit the place one more time, but 2022 will also not attract the usual traffic. The last flower shop in Amsterdam's floating Bloemenmarkt. I mean, what can be more romantic than a place filled with flowers? The Bloemenmarkt was a busy and floating flower market located in Amsterdam. The Bloemenmarkt has been in the city since 1862, so it has a very long history and tradition attached to it. But over time, tourists have occupied and with time taken over the market, displacing loyal customers. The last florist, Michael Sarlos, closed his door in April 2019. I've had enough of all the tourists who ruin my trade. If they're here with a group, I can no longer see my customers, he told Dutch newspaper De Trouw. Some of us thought that tourists bring sales. The flower market story was a different tale. Epcot's famous fireworks show, Illuminations. The popular Illuminations goes by the full name Illuminations Reflections of Earth since 1999 and has been a home for thousands of visitors at Disney World's Epcot. According to touring plans, the show integrates laser lights, neon, and music in a stirring tribute to the nations of the world. Its final performance was on September 30th, 2019, after 20 years. The show was replaced temporarily by Epcot Forever, but it's unclear what the permanent replacement will be. This change has pushed a lot of tourists away. Getting those numbers back might take a while. Don't go anywhere. We are just about to find out, regrettably, more tourist spots that will never recover in 2022. You won't want to miss this. Fjarðargjöfur Canyon in Iceland. We have seen how much celebrities have influenced a gathering. Every fan wants to take a picture in a place where their favorite TV person has visited, at least to say, I was there. The Fjarðargjöfur Canyon in Iceland tagged along with 2 major hits. It has appeared on HBO's Game of Thrones and in Justin Bieber's music video for I'll Show You. As the canyon became a famous landmark, tourists began flocking to it. The Environment Agency of Iceland reports that about 1 million people have visited the site since Bieber's video was released in 2015. The massive influx of tourists has damaged the site. That was what prompted the country's government to implement a visitor ban, according to the AP. Despite the ban, tourists have snuck into the canyon overnight. People might visit canyon just for visiting's sake, but I think it has lost its touch, and 2022 will not bring the miracle. Maya Bay in Thailand. Thailand's Maya Bay gained its credibility as a tourist center after it became the backdrop for Leonardo DiCaprio's movie in 2000, The Beach. Since then, at least 5,000 people have visited the beach and bay every day. Although this issue was limited to Maya Bay, Thailand was forced to close the doors on all of its beaches and islands of Koh Ka Nak, Koh Ka Nui, Koh Ta Chai, and Koh Ka Nai to all tourists indefinitely. Tunya Neti Amakul, Director General of the Department of National Parks, Wildlife, and Plant Conservation, told the Bangkok Post that the overcrowding has has caused the degradation of natural resources and the environment, and something must be done before the damage is beyond repair. As a result, the bay's ecosystem has been badly damaged. Wildlife and plant conservation in Thailand to close Maya Bay indefinitely in 2018. The beach was rumored to be opened in June 2021, but after the COVID-19 pandemic that traumatized the Earth, I doubt if tourists will consider visiting Asia massively in years to come. So, what's your take on this? Do you think Maya Bay will get its activities back to normal in 2022? Walker Canyon. In February 2019, Lake Elsinore, California, was forced to temporarily shut down activities for a while after tourists flocked to a region to photograph the poppy superbloom. The natural phenomenon attracted an influx of tourists to the small town, creating traffic jams, overcrowding, and damage to the fields. It's estimated that 50,000 tourists descended on the town in just one day to get a glimpse of the poppies. Eventually, the town of Elsinore had to temporarily close Walker Canyon and the surrounding fields to protect the residents and reduce traffic, according to the Washington Post. Sunflower Farm in Ontario, Canada. Marlene and Brad Bogle opened up their Ontario, Canada sunflower farm to the public. They charged adults $7.50 as an entrance fee, but tourists who were so eager to get some social media pictures quickly bounced on the opportunity presented by the farm. A policeman once counted about 7,000 cars surrounding the farm at one time. Yes, 7,000 cars. The farm was really huge. Eventually, the Bogle family decided to suspend tourist actions on the farm indefinitely because they could not handle the influx of people. Certainly, the tourists were not going to take the closing lightly. Even though the farm was shut down, Bogle said some tourists would park on side streets and enter the sunflower fields a different way. Are we ever going to see sunflowers again? I guess only time can tell. But tourists really had the fun they craved for, and social media got the pictures they deserved. Komodo Island in Indonesia. So we've seen tourists deform natural reserves, sacred places, and even archaeological findings, but I think they took it to the extreme in Middle Indonesia. Now this makes me ask the popular question, are humans really the most wicked species on the planet? In April 2019, the Indonesian government announced it will be closing one of its most popular tourist destinations, Komodo Island, until 2020. The announcement came after the Ministry of Environment and Forestry in Indonesia said it caught smugglers trying to steal 41 of the 1,800 Komodo dragons that call the island home. During the closure, environmentalists said they would focus on growing the Komodo dragon population by tracking their food supply and ensuring a safe environment free of tourism. COVID-19 played a massive role in postponing the opening most tourists have waited for, and even as it subsides, many people are unwilling to take the risk. 2022 is certainly going to be a recovery phase for the tourist center. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit the like button and remember to subscribe to our channel to get updated on other amazing stuff.